Gents, how, as far as the conditions for baseball today, has the smoke cleared? Is it a little better than it was earlier this morning?
I say yes. Beautiful day here for football and our football. Can you tell where I was before this? Beautiful day for a baseball game. And Rye Pothakos is here. And right, the first thing I wanted to say, it's kind of like majestic all of a sudden. You look out and it's quiet. You can see the lined field, the grass is green, the shale has been raked. Like this must be the best time of day, isn't it right now?
That's why I show up early and I do my walk. I walk the warning track for about 35, 40 minutes before every game. I enjoy the serene look of the ballpark prior to the action. Looks beautiful.
But you can smell baseball here. And again, I'm not smelling the hot dogs that are on the grill behind us or anything like that. It just feels like baseball. And tonight it really is going to be magical, I would suggest, with the Indian Head Rockets and a couple of special guests that are going to be here at the stadium. Tell me about tonight.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it and honoring this the Indian Head Rockets and these two members that are surviving members of this team in the 50s. Traveling all the way from California to be here, and we're looking forward to a big night to honor these gentlemen.
It's interesting because digging into the Indian Head Rockets, I'd never even heard about it until the Regina Red Sox announced this special 75th anniversary tribute that is happening this evening. But you go all the way back to the 50s. A team from Jacksonville, Florida was on the brink of folding because Major League Baseball was starting to allow colored players into the league. And then the players that were displaced had to find somewhere to play. And as you can imagine, the reception wasn't as universal across the United States as one might have thought once the color barrier was broken. So they come to Saskatchewan and played some terrific ball, from what I understand.
Yeah, it was outstanding baseball, and the community of Indian Head welcomed this team. And they barnstormed all across the West. You know, they were in Medicine Hat, also in Saskatoon and Regina at that time. These guys have fond memories of being in the prairies in the 50s, and the reception to their team that they were welcomed with open arms.
What does your team take from a night like this when they get a chance to go ahead and rub elbows with a former pitcher and a former second baseman from the 50s that have lived history?
Well, I think they see, the history of baseball in Saskatchewan. A lot of these guys, prior to recruiting them, were kind of unaware of where Saskatchewan was, and now they get a chance to see, the history of the game in our province and out throughout the West, and then get a chance to meet these gentlemen who are a part of history
Mm-hmm.
in the big picture of baseball, and we're just caretakers of the game, us guys now, and we're going to hand the torch over to younger people and players along the way as well. So it's nice to have the opportunity to meet Nate and Willie, and I think our guys will really enjoy their presence.
The Indian Head Museum is the place to go to find out more information, Maz. And I was
Yeah,
scouring just the history behind this team. It's incredible.
it's an
So,
outstanding
Rod,
lineup. Like there's some big league guys there. Pumpsy Green played for them.
Yeah.
He played in the big leagues. Nate, Willie are great players. Nate was a pitcher. Willie was a second baseman for that team. So I'm interested in meeting him face to face. I've never met them. I did a couple of Zoom calls with them and got to know them a little bit over the internet. But I'm looking forward to shaking their hands.
hey, Rod, although there's a game tonight, and obviously, the wins and losses do matter. What do you want the players to take away from all of this? Because they are part of history, and they're going to all eventually filter back once the season's done to wherever they came from. That is this also part of, like, this is the growing process. This is part of being, hopefully, for a lot of the professional ball players, where you're going to have to grow in certain areas, and this would be one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. If they don't end up playing pro ball, I'm sure a number of them will be coaching, and the influence Nat and Willie will have on them with their conversation and just different topics they'll pick up. A lot of neat nuances that that could help them as they go on to their careers after baseball if they don't end up playing pro ball. But just the fact that Nate and Willie and their teammates traveled from all over the U.S. to come to Saskatchewan to play, it just kind of collates what they're doing. They've came from all over to
Yeah.
play in Saskatchewan, so it's kind of a neat, to meld that together and just see that the history of baseball in Saskatchewan is great.
First pitch here at Curry Field is 7 o'clock tonight. Roy Pothakos is joining us here as we count down to that first pitch tonight on what is going to be a special tribute evening to the Indian Head Rockets. Now, you talked about you recruit players. You've recruited players to Saskatchewan for an awful long time. Can you imagine what was being said to these gentlemen back in the 50s? Hey, come to Saskatchewan. Because what do you say to a player that says Saskatchewan?
Yeah, well, our league has done a great job, throughout all the franchises of recruiting. But we have something here, an entity that you can recruit to. At that time, I don't know how and what they were telling,
Yeah.
because they were a barnstorming team that basically played tournaments throughout the provinces here into Alberta and Saskatchewan. So it was not really basically a league,
Yeah.
but they barnstormed to all these different communities. So the gentlemen that were recruiting the guys at that time and putting it together did an outstanding job, because recruiting is an art of its own.
Fast forward to 2025. What do you say about Saskatchewan when you talk to a potential player?
Well, I tell them there's not, between the U.S. and Canada, there's not many differences, but there are nuances of Saskatchewan. Just the language, a few phrases we use, our money, all these different things that the guys end up really enjoying. And, as it shows this year, we have 15 returners. They really enjoyed Saskatchewan. So that was easy to get those guys back. They love to be together, and they love what they saw here in Saskatchewan. So that was, easy. But the new guys, they're falling into place. They love it here already. So we're excited at the club we put together.
Rye, we're about 10 games into the season. Everyone's kind of feeling everybody out. I checked those power rankings, and Medicine Hat, the Mavericks, number one. Uh, Sizing up your team, are you where you want to be after 10, 11 games, or what's the message? What are the key points we're working on every day?
Yeah, I'm happy where we are. We're still waiting on a few guys, but what we're doing here in the last 10 games is outstanding. We played Medicine Hat, we played Saskatoon. We feel we match up great. The 2 games here in Medicine Hat, I think we let one get away on us. We could have took both those games. So, I'm very proud of what we put together here. We have a great squad, and we're just getting started. We're just getting started.
It's I'm trying to find the right word. Emotional was probably the word last week when we learned about young Jesse Lubinecki, and I know that your team, they come together like their family. How difficult has this time been? I know there's a memorial service that is planned for him tomorrow and a GoFundMe page because his family feels strongly in leaving a legacy to other athletes that want to follow in his footpath. What has this been like?
Obviously it's a shocking, so especially to our returners, the 15 guys that played with him last year. Something like this is never easy to take no matter what. And, Jesse was a great, great kid. I known him for a year and a half. Always had a smile on his face. Outstanding individual. He will be missed. And the new guys that are melding in with the 15 returners really were sympathetic and felt it as well. You can just see it, and it was pretty quiet for a very good day and a half. It was
Absolutely.
very, very quiet. So, um, yeah, we look forward to honoring Jesse's life tomorrow.
One of the things that I'm always impressed with when it comes to minor league baseball, the season is a lot shorter than a hockey season, a lot shorter than a football season, but to see how fast teams can come together like a family over a short amount of time, is that just part of baseball culture? Like, we know we're not here for a long time. Because the faster that melds, it seems it always translates on the field. Is it credit to the 15 guys returning to welcome the new guys in? Is that just a culture that they're coming from? Like, how does it come together so fast to be a family?
Well, baseball players are unique individuals, as all sports
Yeah.
players are. Well, once you get in the locker room for 24 hours, hey, they're your teammates, and you're all pulling in the same direction. We're all here for the same reason, and we're looking forward to the next 46 games.
Well, you do have a road ahead. The team is starting to come together right now at this point. You talked about there's still some players that are going to be coming. And when you look at your ball team as an overall picture, I know that there was some unfinished business from last year. Has that provided extra motivation and incentive, especially for those returning guys?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, especially the returners. The additions, they feel it as well, and just from being in the clubhouse for the
Yeah.
last 2 weeks. They feel the need to win here. And we're looking forward to that. The guys are pulling all in the same direction. We're excited about where we're going, and we take it day by day, game by game, and game we're building. We're building. We're just getting started, like I said.
Rye, I know that things have changed over the years. It's 2025, and I remember playing ball as a kid. When we were in a weather delay, if we were waiting and stuff wasn't canceled, there was sunflower seeds, there was gum, and telling stories on the bench. There's technology, phones, iPads, all that. When you're waiting stuff out, what are the players of today? How do you guys get through in the time when you just got to kill it before you know if you're going to be playing ball? Has that changed at all over the years?
Not really. The phones are pretty much left in the dugout. And, when we're on the field and there's a delay, they're playing some hacky sack, they're playing some, playing
Okay.
catch, warming up. They're also still telling the stories in the dugout. It's great camaraderie. It's a lot of fun.
The question I do have, you've been involved in baseball for a long time, and analytics have come so far. How far have they extended to Western Canadian Baseball League, to what we're seeing on the national team level, which you've been involved with before as well? How far have analytics reached from the major league level?
It's reached somewhat. We look at the stats,
Yeah.
and the Western Canadian Baseball League through Point Streak, we have all the 7-day stats. Who's hot, who's not. So going into a series, we look at that, and we put our lineup together opposed to that. So and we also look at who's pitching. So on the analytics side, like the spin rates and all these things, not too much taking. In summer ball, we just look at the hard numbers.
Yep.
Who's hot, who's not, and we go from there.
So you've never pulled a hot pitcher in the 6th inning because you think that matchup isn't favorable. That's what you're telling me?
Yeah, well, I mean, no, we haven't done that. No,
nobody's going to do that.
And with the rules now, if you pull a guy, he has to stay in for three batters. So
okay,
we have trust in all our guys who put out there, and we figure they can get somebody out.
All right, tonight, the Regina Red Sox special tribute honoring the 75th anniversary of the Indian Head Rockets. It'll be the Indian Head Rockets, the Regina Red Sox, taking on the Florida Cubans, also known as the Swift Current 57s. First pitch tonight will go at 7 o'clock. All right, time to